and let us all do we can to build a better future. The censorship and suppression of RFK Jr.'s campaign is something that we should take note of. Now, I'm not going to vote Democrat, and no, this is not an endorsement of RFK Jr., but I will give him credit. I don't agree with a lot of his policy decisions, but unlike Bernie Sanders, who allowed himself to be, well, screwed up the wazoo by the DNC, RFK Jr. is more or less putting up somewhat of a fight, and people are acknowledging the fact that, yes, RFK Jr. is making sure that his name is being seen and that he is making his presence seen all over social media. He had that interview with Joe Rogan. He had that very successful Twitter Space event that we covered here at Hard Lens Media that was hosted on Twitter by Elon Musk. And now, as it recently stands now, Democrats are divided on whether to attack or ignore RFK Jr. What do I mean by this? Well, here's an article from The Hill. This is the memo. Democrats divided on whether to attack or ignore RFK Jr. And they can't ignore him because, again, his name is out there. Hashtag force a debate. The surprising early strength of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s presidential campaign is sparking unease among Democrats, as it should, because I'm loving seeing their ship sink and leaving them divided about what to do about it. Kennedy has to draw support between approximately 15% to 20% has drawn support between approximately 15 to 20%, sorry about that stutter, of Democratic voters. It's a level that is not high enough to indicate he is seriously endangering President Biden's march to his party's nomination, which, again, that early in the campaign, that's pretty goddamn high. All right, Marianne Williamson is polling at 6, 7, and 8%. RFK Jr. is that threat. But for a candidate often derided as anti-vaccine crank who's running against an incumbent president is enough to make some Democrats sweat. Good. I love it. I love seeing them struggle. One faction argues that Biden should ignore Kennedy, engage him when we legitimize him, and elevate his candidacy, they say. Well, gee, if that's the case, Biden's a good speaker. I remember Vote Blue no matter who's saying that he's good. I remember Bernie Sanders and all these other sycophants who went to endorse Joe Biden said that he's got this, that he could beat Trump. And now all of a sudden it looks like Biden is stuttering and stammering. He doesn't even know what year it is. God save the Queen, man. Come on. The other school of thought holds that Kennedy is too dangerous a figure to let campaign go unimpeded. This second camp notes that even if Kennedy never looks like a fully serious contender for the nomination, he could hurt Biden if he continues edging up in the polls. All right. In a hypothetical scenario where Kennedy rose to 25 or 30% in the polls, questions about Biden's age and political vulnerability grow much sharper, as they should. As they should. As they should, because unfortunately, folks, Biden is not all there. We've seen the videos. We've seen him stutter. We've seen him stammer. And here's the thing, Democrats. NewsNation is set to host a town hall with RFK Jr. right here. So, looking at this, in a hypothetical scenario where Kennedy rose to 20 or 30% in the polls about Biden's age or political vulnerability and how so many people are sweating and being scared, the memo, Democrats are divided. You can't ignore this. A town hall. Hey, Democrats, will there be a Biden town hall? Probably not. I do hope that maybe there will be. Biden can speak, right? He could speak coherent sentences, right? He could do that, right? Oh, wait, maybe he can't do that at all. Maybe he doesn't know where he's at now. And that's pretty damn sad. Here, let's play it. Let's check this out. Upstart cable news channel, NewsNation, is slated to host a town hall style event with 2024 presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. later this month. Oh my goodness. So on Wednesday, June 28th, the event, moderated and hosted by Elizabeth Vargas, will be held in Chicago. Hey, that's my hometown. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So anyways, Kennedy Jr. Anyways, this article just came out, so I'm finding out now too. That is great. That is great. Also, let me ask a question to the audience too. Type 1, if you think Biden will be able to do a town hall very soon. Type 2, like, that man doing a town hall? He ain't going to do it. He doesn't know what year he's in. God save the Queen, man. Come on, Jack. Kennedy Jr. will take questions in front of an audience comprised of voters in partnership with the New Hampshire Institute of Politics at St. Anselm College, as well as voters in key states of South Carolina, New Hampshire, the network said. RFK Jr., a longtime anti-vaccine activist, filed paperwork in April to run for president as a Democrat. His candidacy has sparked debate among Democrats on how much attention to pay his long-shot candidacy and forced media organizations to weigh how to cover his staunchly anti-vaccine rhetoric. ABC News notably edited a recent interview it aired with Kennedy Jr. to exclude false claims he made about the coronavirus vaccines. YouTube similarly last week removed an interview where he gave commentator Joe Peterson for violating its guidelines against vaccine misinformation. That's right. RFK Jr. is being censored. Even that interview that he did on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson 2 years ago, taken down off of YouTube. Now it's up on Rumble. Somehow, apparently, that also violated YouTube guidelines. I don't know why. Makes no sense. The event with NewsNation will be RFK Jr.'s first town hall with a national news network since announcing his presidential bid. Hey, CNN. Hey, MSNBC. Hey, Fox News. Are you going to do the same? I sure hope so. But let's talk more about the censorship of RFK Jr. Shout out again to Case Study QB. Please be sure to follow him on Twitter.
Trump run for presidency. During his campaign, he, on several occasions, he mentioned that he believed that vaccines were causing autism. It became a tribal issue.
Time for the hot topic buzz. That was a clip from a now removed interview with presidential candidate RFK Jr., who spoke with Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson. YouTube deleting it off of its platform, telling Fox News Digital the interview, quote, violated YouTube's general vaccine misinformation policy. This would include content that falsely says that approved vaccines cause autism. So RFK questioning that decision, he goes on Twitter and says, in part, should social media platforms censor presidential candidates?
And the answer is no. Social media platforms should not censor presidential candidates, because also Kim Iverson's interview with RFK Jr. was taken down. Again, YouTube. He's running for president. You shouldn't do that. Now, we here at Hard Lens Media have also reached out to RFK Jr. to be interviewed by us. Since you're coming to my hometown, RFK, Hard Lens Media is going to call you out, man. We're going to make that happen.
Doug, should they?
No, because the question here is who do you want this framing this debate? Now, look, if it is misinformation, then that's the whole purpose of the videos. You get, okay, this is wrong, this is how you attack it. But the question coming here, and especially from the Democratic side, especially everything that we've seen on these issues, especially the COVID vaccines and everything else, are they going to take down everything else that was wrong, like mask work, these other? No, they're going after these issues where it looks like directly affecting a presidential candidate at this point, or really anyone at this point. Do you really want somebody in the back room saying, we'll approve this and not approve this? Because right now, if you're in favor of this, get ready. You're the next to be censored.
Well,
and again, we here at Hard Lens Media, not once, but 8 times have been hit by YouTube, and we won all those 8 times. YouTube. Again, the censorship is real.
This is YouTube, which, Rebecca, is owned by Google, major corporation.
Alphabet, yeah. I mean, you know, the one thing that died in 2020 was freedom of speech. We don't have it anymore. We are corporate censored. It's called privacy policy. It's called, you know.
Okay. Hey, listen, Fox News, you're no angels in this business either. Okay. Come on. You're part of that corporate media network too. Come on.
Terms of community, so, you know, the community standards, whatever they call it, anything that goes against their standards. And, you know, RFK, obviously, with his Children's Defense Network, has had a long history of vaccine-related work as an attorney, one of the most preeminent, the most probably in the country on vaccine work. And the guy has, like, I'm a data person, I'm a facts person. Give me the data, give me the facts, and I'll make my own decision. And you can't debate RFK Jr. because he knows everything there is to know about everything on that topic. And so obviously his information.
Is that a little zing at Prof. Hotez? Probably.
Gets pulled because they're not ready, and it affects advertisers. So they're not ready for the general American public to be brought into this discourse, and it will come.
Now, I want to pull up this other video too as well, because it's a quick follow-up, just a 1-minute video.
running up against, President Biden. There's this new Trafalgar Group survey that finds 58% of Democrats actually want to see a debate between President Biden and RFK Jr. Maria spoke with Democratic candidate Marianne Williamson last week on City Morning Futures about the lack of.
Now, Marianne Williamson's campaign is belly up. It's no longer relevant. But yes, Democratic voters do want to see a debate. And I encourage them to continue pushing that notion of a debate. Make it happen. Have Biden debate RFK Jr. Come on, vote blue no matter who. This is your dog. Old man Biden. He should have this in the bag, right? He's got this, right? Or maybe he doesn't.
The debates for the Dems, listen.
The majority of Democratic voters want to hear from someone besides the president. The president should not just be shoehorned in for the nomination by the DNC, as you're indicating. And that's why I think it's important that the president debate both of his challengers.
Doug, that's never going to happen, I'm assuming, but
No, the Easter Bunny's
bringing
not
it
coming.
up.
The Easter Bunny's not coming. Tooth Fairy missed the appointment, and Joe Biden's not showing up for debates. Okay.
Yes, so there you go. Yeah, Joe Biden's not going to show up to a debate. He's not going to do that. Marianne Williamson, are you still here? But I'll pull up this article here as well. Now, this is from Lori Spencer. RFK Jr. versus the censorship states of America. Again, Robert F. Kennedy has been one of the most censored voices in recent years. The hashtag Biden administration even labeled him as one of the disinformation dozen, which led RFK Jr. being censored on nearly every major social media platform during the pandemic. Hashtag Kennedy, RFK Jr. is currently suing the Biden administration and Fauci for alleged violations of the First Amendment. RFK Jr. is also involved in litigation with Meta, Google, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for deplatforming his nonprofit organization's Children's Health Defense. All that happened before he announced he was running for president in 2024. Since Kennedy made his announcement on April 19th, the social media giants' attempt to silence him have increased frenetically. Again, this week, Kennedy campaign staffers created a new Instagram account for the campaign using official domain email addresses. Instagram instantly placed a 6-month suspension on the new Kennedy campaign account, essentially censoring RFK Jr. on that platform. Now, look, I'm not going to vote Democrat, but I got to tell you something. I don't like what they're doing to RFK Jr. because it's happened to Hard Lens. If you're not concerned about this, you should be. Kennedy's and his supporters have also been punished, in some cases completely silenced on YouTube. I want to mention this one. Even older interviews with RFK Jr. and Mike Tyson and Theo Vaughn with millions of views were suddenly removed from YouTube without explanation. Shout out to Roger Meadows. You're the real one. Roger Meadows sent me a copy of that. I have a copy of it. I have a copy of that interview. And I'm not going to let it go. So, YouTube, it's going to be out there in the ether of the World Wide Web. RFK-related videos by Kim Iverson, Dark Journalist, the Indie News Network, TNT radio host Misty Winston, shout out to Misty, and myself were taken down from YouTube. And after 3 strikes in 1 month, my channel was permanently banned from the platform on May 24th. Folks, the YouTube censorship is too real. It's frightening. I wish it wasn't like this, but it is. So I don't know how this election cycle will play out, but it's quite clear that the DNC and the political establishment is doing everything they can to silence and suppress free thinkers, free speech. Break away from neoliberalism. This election cycle is only getting started. As I've said before, stay tuned to Hard Lens Media.